Hello. So, I'm just going to jump into it real quick. We're going on Final Mix Proud. I'll explain what all this is in a moment. I have to talk over a cutscene soon, and also my headphones are incredibly loud. What else is new? I always forget about this. Alright, so this is Kingdom Hearts. It is, at this point, if you do not know, is a action RPG. And yeah, I mean, sometimes that turns people off because they're either pure RPG fanatics that like turn-based combat or something along those lines, or it turns them off because the action part is all they want and they don't like the RPG elements. But overall, it's one of my favorite series. I wouldn't say it is my favorite. Probably breaks top 10 though. It is a really good series. But I have to talk over this. So I'm going to talk about the options that you were given at the very beginning of the game. So when you first click new game, you are given the option beginner. I always call it medium, even though I should know the name of it, but I never choose it anymore. I haven't chosen it since I had a PS2 because that was what I picked all the time. I think there was no proud mode, or yeah, there was. I just never picked it. But there's beginner, there's medium, whatever it's called. Sorry for getting it. And then there was proud. Proud is what we're going to be playing, which is the hardest, and it's not too difficult, but there are certain fights that it's obvious that it gets a little ridiculous. Now, overall, the reason I'm talking over this, by the way, is this song. It's a good song. If you want to go look it up, and you could just find it. But if I don't talk over it, it's a nice little check mark, and it hurts. But the other option was automatic camera versus manual. I prefer manual because I like to be able to just control it. It's my own personal feel. If you like automatic, there are certain areas I recommend that you turn it off. And I'll probably make mention to it if I remember. But overall, that's very simple. And then vibration is vibration, which, I mean, if you played any game before this, you should know what it is. Or at least a game on a console. Vibration is very important for console. I mean, it's what a lot of people associate with being hit or something happening. Stuff like that. So, we're going to start off in a little tutorial section, of course. This one's not nearly as annoying as Kingdom Hearts 2, which lasts like an hour and a half to 2. And if you want to collect everything a little bit longer, it's annoying. So I'm going to take my blessings here and be like the bird and fly as fast as I can. I'm going to go over the controls, so if you are, I don't know, I guess watching and playing, you can follow along, I guess. So, we are in another place, so much to do, so little time. Take your time. Don't be afraid. And look at that. The door is still shut. Now step forward. Can you do it? So in this game, I am playing with the PS4 controller as I am playing the Final Mix version that came out quite recently. To move, you use the left analog stick. And as it will come to tell, power sleeps within you. If you give it form, it will give you strength. But it's going to say circle is to jump, which is the rightmost button on the controller. Just to let you know. There's jump. I'm going to get rid of it. So I have to mention these before we start because this is very important depending on what difficulty you pick. So strength. This is the strength right here. Nice little camera thing. This is for defense and this for magic. Now this is very important depending on your difficulty. If you are playing proud mode, you can build strength. I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm saying you don't want to. I prefer magic and defense over it for proud mode. Also, one thing to point out that strength gets over the rest of them pretty early is scan, which allows you to see health bars pretty early, which is very nice. But it also gets a lot of combo moves earlier, like sweep, or what is it called, sliding sweep or sliding slash, something like that, which is a nice little reach move. Very good. This gets, I guess, a treasure magnet pretty early, which is nice if you're collecting early on, and it gets MP stuff around 30s 40s, which is useful. And then the shield, which is the one I'm gonna go with for what I want, gets guard the earliest in final mix. It also gets second chance and leaf bracer earlier than the other two, which is very important for someone like me who doesn't care. I'm gonna drop strength because I think it's the most not forgettable, but. And also, one thing to point out is that this combination also affects another two stats in the game that isn't quite apparent yet. Is AP and your item attunement slot, which once I max it out, this combination of items choices will get me 8 items instead of, I think the lowest is 3, and that's like strength with getting rid of defense, I believe, or something along those lines. But the other AP, I don't remember the calculation, but I do know that shield is pretty good. And we've gained the power to fight. And by the way, the shield looks really stupid when you're attacking. Look at that. I understand they wanted to use this power to protect yourself and others. We have our HP, which if you do not know are hit points or health. And it's telling us that magic points are magic points, or MP, which is the blue bar. HP is the green bar. If you run out of MP, you can't use magic anymore. But if you run out of HP, you're dead. So, combat lock-on is actually not supposed to be here yet. We're supposed to get a little message pop up. But we gain XP for killing enemies, of course, RPG style. Items are important. We'll get to more of those. But to attack is just X. I mean, you should have figured it out. Move the camera as right stick as well, if you are on manual. I should have probably said that. R1 is to lock on, and then to stop is R1 again, so you could do this. To switch, as they'll say later, is just L2. Simple. And we're just going to fight these guys real quick. Simple. Now, your attack chain has 2 light hits and then a heavy hit, which you'll come to realize the heavy hit is very important for, well, damage. And, oh no! Darkness! That looks really bad in the final mix. And even on the PS2 it looked really bad. At least I think it does. But we still have quite a bit of the... Well, not quite a bit. We still have a decent bit of the tutorial. One thing I will point out that I don't think is explicitly stated is using the 4 directional buttons on the left of the controller. You can move this. So up and down. And right and left actually matter later once you have selections. Though they're not as useful. Triangle is examine, open, something else. Trinity, which is a little bit later. And as you can see, here's the open command. Nothing's in there. We don't get shit. Sucks to be us, I guess. We can push large crates, which is not very important. There are very few times we have to do it, but we can also break it. And we get a potion. We are just going to ignore the item. It's telling us how to switch, which I've already stated. Items you can select. Potions just heal you. Don't need to go over that. Same with high potions and stuff like that. Very basic. Alright. Examine. We have a giant random door that shouldn't go anywhere, but somehow it does. I guess I should mention, if you haven't played Kingdom Hearts or you know nothing about it, which is weird, but I've heard weirder things. This is owned by Disney and it's made by Square Enix, so we're gonna get some Final Fantasy characters. Oh yeah. So if you touch the little touchpad in the center of the PS4 controller, you do a first-person view. It's not very useful, to be honest. You probably won't see me do it that much. So we're gonna get some questions here, and I'm gonna pick option 3 every time. And the reason for that is the easiest way, and I don't have to think of anything to get the midnight thing, as it will slowly come up. You like to collect neat things, blah 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 blah. But what will come up is midnight, and what this is it means I will level up slower in the early parts of the game and level up faster in the later parts. So it goes from level 1 to 50 is those things. So your adventure begins in the dead of night. Okay, it's not midnight or dusk, it's dead of night. Sounds good. Now, before I leave this, though, there are 2 other ways of doing this. There is morning or dawn. I think it's dawn. I'm just going to go into it. But dawn, you level up faster early on, and you slow down pretty late. It actually gets quite hard to level up. And midday is even throughout. So midday might work for you. I really don't like dawn at all. In the main menu, yep. So I love how it gives us a little tutorial that you can open the main menu, but guess what? We're in a battle, so you can't. And we don't get the awesome glow, which sucks. And we have a little, like, surrounding fight here, which is actually the most Heartless we're going to see for a little bit. And these are called Heartless, I should mention. And these shadows right here are kind of the mascot of the Heartless. We'll see them for most of the game. So they don't drop that many important things. We'll actually see many different versions of them as well. Though in the first one, it's not as common in different forms and other things. And this is going to end the kind of really explanation-heavy tutorial. We're going to step on it. It's going to open up a pathway. But I will be saving and ending it here. And saving, what's it called? Refills your HP and MP, which is very important. Otherwise, we'd be walking around holding a bunch of items to make sure we don't run out. So we're going to save. And the reason I'm ending it here is because this is so explanation heavy that I just don't want to. And the rest of it is not as bad. We're pretty much past the very explanation heavy bit because most of that decides the rest of your playthrough. By the way, these are health orbs and you'll see money orbs later along with items. But so much stuff to explain. So next time we're going to be going up that path. We're going to be finishing this little clouded area. Thorns around this princess, which, yeah. So we'll be going up there and we'll be seeing what's going on. So, till then.